But now it's time to dive into our feature story of the day and discuss the $650,000 Bitcoin price prediction. So let's break it down, shall we? Headline reads, Bitcoin will run to 650,000 if the bulls take charge. That's right. Even with Bitcoin prices facing pressure from the sellers, on-chain analyst Willy Woo thinks Bitcoin will reach new highs thanks to the launch of the new Bitcoin ETFs. In a recent post on X, Willy Woo said the coin can soar as high as 91,000 in a bear market bottom, but soar to as high as $650,000 in a bull market top. Send it. However, do note Bitcoin will only soar to these mega valuations assuming that the leading asset managers will fully deploy their recommended allocations to the world's most valuable crypto asset. Now, at the spot rates, Bitcoin looks shaky even after the surge to all-time highs of 73,800 mid-March, which was last month. Bitcoin has been seen under pressure, obviously. So far, prices are within a range. These are capped at 73.8, which is the all-time high on the upper end, and around now 59,700 on the lower end, which we just tapped yesterday. So as long as the prices are inside the zoom, the uptrend remains, or the zone, my bad. This preview considers the formation established in the better part of Q1 of this year after the first Bitcoin ETFs in the US were officially approved. I mean, look at this chart. This is the daily chart, fam. This is the tail of the tape. And the analysts also noted that the rise to 91,000 and 650,000 are long-term targets and not for this current market cycle necessarily. But most importantly, Willy Woo added, it will depend on how fast and aggressively asset managers like BlackRock add Bitcoin to their diversified portfolios. And even so, this projection excludes inflows from non-custodial wallets. Capital flows from these wallets are projected to be higher due to the rising crypto adoption. So yeah, this prediction is solely based upon the institutions allocating a certain percentage of their assets under management into Bitcoin. It ignores the retail, the nation state adoption, the sovereign wealth fund adoption, and all the other bullishness in the market. So keep that in mind. Now, in Woo's assessment, asset managers manage around $100 trillion globally. So if they decided to invest just 2% of their holdings in Bitcoin, as Fidelity recommends, the asset can receive around $2 trillion. Now, additionally, considering Bitcoin's value based on on-chain movement worth around $560 billion, the total investment will reach $2.56 trillion. So using the market value to realize value, which is the MVRV ratio, Woo said Bitcoin could soar to a market high of 650,000 per Bitcoin in a bull cycle. Now, the MVRV is a metric that compares market capitalization to on-chain investment. Conversely, Bitcoin can reach a swing low of 91,000 per Bitcoin if the crypto market crushes. The MVRV ratio is typically 5x in bull market tops and 0.7x in bear market bottoms. So Woo thinks Bitcoin, like gold, is ready for a 12-year bull run. I've also heard Michael Saylor say we're in a 10-year bull run. So even so, adoption and emergent regulations in Europe and Asia will shape the path to 91 and 650,000 dollars. So there you have it, crypto fam. I want to know your personal prediction for this cycle peak, and by what year do you think we're most likely to reach the cycle peak? Will it be this year, 2024? Will it be next year, 2025? How high will we climb? What can you see? Please do let me know and share it in the chat. I predict Bitcoin low of 222,000, which is my bear scenario, and a Bitcoin high, which is my bull scenario, of 750,000, somewhere in between there. I think we hit it in 2025 personally. Now, we have a lot of bullishness in the market. I mean, I've been covering it each and every day in the show as this is a daily live stream. So I don't want to reiterate myself because I had a very passionate rant yesterday, and virtually every day when we end the show before we tap into the live Q&A, I tell you all the reasons on why I'm bullish. The obvious reasons, I'll just share some of it with you here now. The obvious reasons is supply demand, right? When you have massive demand and a very limited supply and a halving looming, what's going to happen? I believe 12 to 18 months after the halving, we hit a cycle peak, which would mean in 2025, as history has shown us from the previous halving cycles. Now, when you have massive institutional demand, it means supply shock. Supply shock incoming. I can see the supply shock happening this year. There's only 1.8 million Bitcoin roughly available on the exchanges. And I've heard, according to on-chain analysts, over 80% of the current Bitcoin supply is in the hands of the long-term hodlers. So what happens when all the Bitcoin on the exchanges dry up? Bitcoin sells at a premium. Numbers go up because BlackRock is going to have to continue to fulfill the demand for their customers, right? Fidelity, the same thing, and all the rest of them. MicroStrategy is not slowing down anytime soon, right? BlackRock, definitely not slowing down. Fidelity, not slowing down. Now we have ETFs about to be launched out of Hong Kong. We got ETFs going to be launched potentially out of Australia, El Salvador. There's just so much bullishness. We have Mr. 100 now collectively has over 60,000 Bitcoin, purchasing roughly over 100 Bitcoin per day. Max Kaiser says his top candidate for who Mr. 100 is Abu Dhabi in the UAE. We have the Middle East, all the oil money. We have the Saudis in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We got Qatar. They're sitting on a half a $1 trillion sovereign wealth fund. You have places like Iran. You got the BRICS movement. You got Russia opening up the Bitcoin mining hub in Ethiopia. Can you say bullish? I mean, how can you not be bullish at a time like this when you start to truly fathom, like reflect, meditate, and truly understand how limited this asset class is? 21 million, finite limited supply, no corrupt government can change that, right? No corrupt politician, no corrupt regulator, no corrupt anybody can change it because it's incorruptible. It's perfect money. For the first time in human history, we have perfect money that can't be inflated, like the US dollar. They're guaranteed to continue to print to try to get out of the deficit, in which is impossible to get out of. Money printer will continue to go, brrr. Money will continue being laundered, to fund wars, because that's what fiat does best. You know what I mean? Fiat currency perpetuates war and violence. Bitcoin perpetuates peace and love. El Salvador being the perfect example. Now there's a blueprint. Bukele laid out the blueprint. Now any other nation can follow in their footsteps. So you already know. Let me know your thoughts, family. I'm going to read as many comments out loud as I can. Another thing no one thinks about is all the extra Bitcoin BlackRock will have that they won't sell when the ETF customers sell. Bullish on ETH. It will happen, says Rotha. Was good, fam. Shit out, Justin Bassett. What it do? Even China. Oh my God. OMG. Russia, really? Yes, Russia, really? We covered that story a couple of weeks ago here on the pod. They're opening up a mining hub in Ethiopia. Why Ethiopia? Cheap energy? More than likely, right?